Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Thank you very much. Distinguished heads of intelligence and security services, leaders of regional and continental institutions, esteemed delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me take this opportunity on behalf of the government and people of Kenya to welcome all of you to this beautiful city of Mombasa, here in Kwale. Just by way of understanding, Diani, where this conference is taking place, has been voted 8 consecutive years as the best beach destination in Africa. And Director General Haji made the right decision to hold this conference here so that you can sample the best of our continent. Two references have been made of Director General Haji, and he has been assigned the rank of general, and somebody else has also assigned him the title of doctor. To avoid any confusion, I am the one who confers the titles of generals. And I don't remember conferring one to Haji. I have not also, because I know a few things about Haji, I don't think he has attended a PhD class unless there is one he is going through now. But because it has happened, I will need some intelligence on how this actually happened. And I think I'm in the right forum. And the intelligence chiefs here will help me to find out how this happened. But having said that, as we bring this Mashariki Conference, Cooperation Conference 2026 to a close, I extend my sincere appreciation to each of you for your presence, your insights, and your steadfast commitment to the shared purpose that has brought us here together. Your engagements here reflect a collective resolve to advance peace, strengthen stability, and accelerate progress across our respective countries, our continent, and very well beyond. I especially commend the Director General of the National Intelligence Service of Kenya for his leadership and the meticulous organization of this conference. The Mashariki platform continues to grow in stature and relevance, and the milestones achieved thus far are both notable and commendable. Over the past few days, you have engaged with depth and clarity on the realities shaping our security environment. You have critically examined a world defined by shifting geopolitical dynamics, rapid technological change, and the increasingly complex transnational threats. As we all know, these are not isolated developments. They are interconnected forces reshaping the global and continental security landscape. The central lesson you must take away from this conference is very clear. The challenges we face can no longer be contained within national borders. Our security is shared as our vulnerabilities, and our responses, therefore, must be shared as well. Strategic partnerships are no longer optional. They are indispensable and, in fact, a necessary imperative. The bilateral and multilateral engagements that have taken place here must now translate into sustained cooperation. Kenya remains committed to convening and supporting such platforms because dialogue, coordination, and trust are the foundations of lasting security. This conference has also reinforced the urgent need to strengthen Africa's security architecture. We must build systems that are responsive, that are adaptive, and capable of anticipating risk, not merely a reaction to it. This requires deeper strategic alignment, stronger institutions, and deliberate investment in our collective preparedness. We are operating in an era in which climate change, terrorism, violent extremism, and technological disruptions intersect with national security in very profound ways. These are complex and evolving challenges, and they demand coherence in thought and coordination in action. We must act with vigilance, act with focus, discipline, and a clear sense of shared purpose. I am particularly encouraged by the emphasis placed on intelligence as a pillar of governance and statecraft. As a policymaker and consumer of intelligence, I recognize and deeply value the critical role your agencies play. Intelligence is not merely about threat detection. It is about foresight, it is about precision and strategic clarity. Your institutions safeguard the continuity of state. They protect our constitutional order. They provide the insight that enables governments to anticipate risk, respond effectively, and align immediate action with long-term national interests. At the continental level, intelligence cooperation strengthens our ability to address transnational threats, reinforces stability, and builds confidence among nations. Even when leaders cannot speak, even when communication breaks down and to engage, that is where the difference is made. Equally important, intelligence enables discreet engagement, opening channels that complement formal diplomacy and support the prevention and resolution of conflict. Platforms such as this one are therefore not merely gatherings. They are instruments for shaping the future of our collective security. And I know as this conference grows, there will be greater networking, there will be greater sharing of knowledge, experience, information, intelligence for the security of all our countries. It is not always that you find a meeting of many intelligent people, because I do not think it is possible for anybody who is not intelligent to be an intelligence officer. I think the first, I am sure the first benchmark of an intelligence officer is that they must be intelligent. And because I have many of you in this room today, I will want to seek your support and help in solving some of the challenges that I have. And I am going to give you 3 assignments. And I suggest that you write them down. Or at least Haji will give you a clip of my statement. Number 1, many of you come from our continent. In fact, this Mashariki Cooperation Conference is a meeting of many intelligence leaders from our continent. Africa is at a reflection point because Africa will have a quarter of the world's population will be living in our continent by 2050. And 2050 is just 20 years from now, 20-something years from now. We will have the largest workforce in the world coming from this continent. Because of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we will have the largest single market in the world in this continent. And we have resources and we have assets. We have 2/3 of the world's remaining arable land. I was told by the former president of the Africa Development Bank that the future billionaires will be farmers. That is why I'm trying farming myself. And aside from that, we have huge mineral and natural resources in our continent. It is both an opportunity and a risk. Because of what I have said about our continent, there is need for thought leaders. There is need for intelligence leaders to think about how we are going to organize ourselves. My colleagues, heads of state, gave me the assignment to work on the reform of the Africa Union institutions and organs to make them fit for purpose for a time as this, as we look into the future. I can tell you without an iota of doubt that Africa Union as is today is not fit for purpose, is not fit to provide the leadership that this continent needs going into the future. And therefore, there is need for the reform of the Africa Union. I am asking of you as intelligence leaders to assist us to figure out what kind of Africa Union that we need to be able to unlock the potential that exists in our continent and the opportunities that we have, so that as we march into the future, as we become the single largest market, as a quarter of the world's population live in our continent. We take advantage of that position because otherwise it can pose a major risk for us. We need, and I want to tell you that there is a lot of resistance to the reform of the Africa Union. And we must work together for us to have an organization that is fit for purpose, that can represent our continent appropriately, and that can steer this continent into the future. My assignment to you is to assist us as leaders in this continent. And I know that many of you speak to leaders, presidents in our continent in some very personal way. For us to unlock the future of our continent, we need a fit-for-purpose Africa Union. We will be making proposals on how this is going to happen, and we want to work together towards making that Africa Union an organization of the 21st century. The second issue I want to give you as by way of assignment is that as a continent and as a people, we must begin to believe in ourselves. We must believe in this continent. In this continent, there is enough for us to prosper. There is enough for us to grow wealth, create jobs, create opportunities, and develop our continent. Too many times, we look for solutions outside this continent when actually the answers are right here in our continent. Whether we are talking about markets, whether we are talking about jobs, whether we are talking about resources, they are right here. I will give you one example from Kenya. As I landed in this place this evening, about 200-300 meters from here, we have a huge block of housing. There was a place here called White House. We now have built housing units for the people of Kenya. We are building 240,000 housing units. We have had challenges of informal settlements. We've had 7 million Kenyans living in slums and informal settlements, and we want to sort it out. We have been subdividing our agricultural land for settlement. We want to change that. We want to do land consolidation instead of land fragmentation. And we didn't look for a solution outside Kenya. We found the solution right here. We have signed contracts of $4 billion to develop housing in Kenya, markets in Kenya, hostels for our university and TVET students in Kenya, using our own domestic resources. I have had occasion to discuss this with my colleagues in this continent. And I want to persuade you that as Africans, we need to take charge of our destiny. We need to mobilize domestic resources. There is no free lunch. Yes. We look for solutions elsewhere. If anybody gives you any money, there cannot be money for free. It is either a debt or something else, but you will pay someday. Finally, let me give you one more assignment. We have resources in this continent. We have assets in this continent. We still continue to export our resources because sometimes we do not have the support from financial institutions to support our own processing, our own capacity. I want to implore on you as intelligence officers that as governments, as African governments, it is important for us to develop African African financial institutions, to invest in African financial institutions. It is good to have the World Bank. It is good to have the IMF, but we need more capacity. We need to put more money in Afri-Exim Bank, Africa Finance Corporation, Africa Development Bank, Trade Development Bank, multinational African institutions. I will tell you why. One African entrepreneur, let me mention him by name, Aliko Dangote from Nigeria, has built among the largest refineries in the world in Nigeria. He couldn't find any financial institution to support him. It is the Afri-Exim Bank, an African financial institution, that gave him the money to develop that refinery. I want you to go and find out. You are intelligent people, you are intelligence leaders. Why that was the case. So, my ask of you is, we need to put our money in building the capacity of African financial institutions. That is how we are going to develop this continent. I thought that I should give you these 3 thoughts for you to assist us as a leadership in this continent, because it is the only way that we are going to tap into the potential of this continent going into the future. And I speak from a position of knowledge. Africa stands at a decisive moment. The choices we make today will shape the trajectory of our continent for generations to come. Our core responsibility is to strengthen cooperation across borders, build resilience and capable institutions and pursue a shared vision of a secure, stable, and prosperous Africa. The true value of this conference will not just be measured by the quality of the discussions that have gone on here, but by the strength of the follow-throughs that will come after. We must now translate insights into action and commitment into sustained implementation. As I conclude, I thank you once more for your service to your countries, your dedication, and your contribution to this important dialogue in this cooperation conference. Kenya remains committed to partnering with you and as a trusted convener in advancing peace and security across our region and continent. I must commend the Director Generals who have spoken on behalf of colleagues here. I was telling the Director General from Ghana that when President John Mahama visits Kenya, I have real problems tracing him around Kenya. He has too many friends, and he is half Kenyan. I know that can give him problems in Ghana if people discover that he's half Kenyan. But anyway, he's serving his second term, so there is no problem. And sometimes I have to resort to intelligence to find out where he is, because he has this friend in this place and that friend in that place. And that is the brotherhood that we have built as a continent. Our Director General from Uganda has spoken about our father, Mzee Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And just for your information, I spoke to him this morning, and we are discussing about how to harness the opportunities. We are going to have a meeting here on the 23rd to discuss how to industrialize our continent using our resources. Yes. And that is how the future is going to be made. I wish you all safe travels back home, and I wish you continued success in your responsibilities and in your duties. Thank you very much. God bless you, and my very best wishes.